Today we're making our sausage products. I got 3 different kinds of sausage that we're going to make for you guys today, so stick around.
Oh, look at that.
So we got some pork shoulder butt here. We're going to get this ground up. All we're doing is cutting it into sizes that can go into our grinder. So we're going to get this ground up real quick, and then we're going to continue with 3 different recipes. I don't know if you guys have ever worked with a pork butt before, but I like getting the stuff that's it's a boneless pork shoulder butt is what it's called. It's from Costco. If I had pigs, definitely I would be using homegrown, but we're not quite there yet. So we are opting for the Costco brand, which this is a really good pork. So what we're doing is we're just cutting all this up. It's so easy since it's already off the bone. You just have to cut it up into chunks that can fit through the orifice on your grinder, and that's it. So this is going to be the base for all 3 of our sausage products that we're going to be making for you guys today. And we've done this for quite a few years. I tell you what, this is one of my best recipes, hands down. So we're just going to get to cutting here. And to speed things up, I'm going to cut and Candace is going to grind, and we're going to get through these pork butts. So I've got, let's see, this one's 21 pounds and that one's 17 pounds. So we got quite a bit here, but we are making quite a bit of sausage products. Now we are going to be mixing things in with this, so this is not all that's going into our sausage products here. This is just the base. No need to trim anything. It all goes in the pool. This is what makes the good stuff right here. So leave all that fat on. We got 38 pounds of ground pork butt here, and our first recipe that we're going to make is our venison summer sausage. This is a tried and true Gagne Farms tradition. We've been making this thing since way back in the dinosaur age. So we're going to make a batch of this right now. We need 10 pounds of the ground pork butt. So we're going to measure that out here, and we're going to put it into our big mixing bowl. Now we're going to add our venison that we ground up earlier. We've got 20 pounds going in this guy. We have our pink curing salt here. This is just Prague powder. We're going to put 6 teaspoons in. Kosher salt, 3/4 cup. Coarse grind if you can find her. We have 3/4 cup of ground black pepper. You can choose if you want coarse grind or table grind. We prefer table grind over here with our sausage at Gagne Farms. So we're just gonna do that up. You don't want to overdo this. It will be a little powerful, so I would not go more than 3/4 cup. 1 cup of brown sugar. And we have 1 cup of maple syrup. Now, of course, we use our own Gagne Farms maple syrup here. And I just got this out of the door of the fridge. Well, might as well just dump that whole thing in there, huh?
Yep. A little extra never hurt.
1/2 cup mustard seeds. Yellow, to be exact. And 1/4 cup of ground mustard. A 1/4 cup of garlic powder. All right, that's it. Now we gotta mix this up really good. So you want to make sure that this gets really incorporated in there. You don't want to leave any bare spots. It doesn't get any flavoring. I almost forgot the best part, and that's the high temp cheese. So we've got high temp cheddar cheese here we just get from our local meat market. I'm going to say that the amount of cheese that you put in depends on your liking. We don't like as much cheese in our summer sausage as some people. I think it's recommended about 10% of the meat that you have. So for a batch like this, it would be like 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds of cheese, and I'm not going to put that in there. I'm going to put some in. We're just going to kind of eyeball it here, and I'll let you know how much I put in the end. That's a 1/2 pound. I'm going to put this other package in. That gets us up to 1 pound. And I'm going to mix this in, and we're going to see what it looks like. All right, we ended up putting all 3 containers, which was just about 1.5 pounds of the cheese. That's about how we like it right here. Go ahead and play around with the recipe. You can put as much or as little of cheese in. You don't even have to put cheese if you don't want to. Sometimes we'll make a batch with cheddar cheese and a different batch with pepper jack cheese. We weren't able to get the pepper jack cheese this time, so it's just a cheddar sausage this year. So on to the next step. We got to case this stuff. So let's go get our sausage stuffer, start stuffing those casings. Alright, we just got our casings here. These are a 3-pound casing. I soak them in a little bit of warm water. You have a sausage stuffer. Put on the big horn here. It's going to make stuff a lot faster. I've done this before in my grinder as well. I prefer to do it in the sausage stuffer. Just seems to go a little bit faster. Once we're done, we just add a little twine here, and we're going to tie up the end, and we're going to get stuffing. You don't want to be too greedy right at the end here. You want to give yourself a little bit of room to be able to tie this off. So you want to get a good twist and then take your twine. I like to go around it a couple times if I can. Sometimes 2 people at this project stage does good. You can do it yourself, it doesn't matter. However you like. And that's it, guys. I'll just probably trim up the ends here of this twine a little bit. Some of this stuff too I'm going to label. I'm actually going to do a little addition here halfway through, so stick around while I'm finishing filling these casings up. Alright, now I like to add the good stuff. This is jalapeno from the garden. We just chop it up, freeze it, and then I can take chunks like this and bust it up and put into my sausage. So I put a couple cups in here, and I'm going to have about 3 or 4 sticks worth. And again, I kind of mix this up and just kind of go by eye. This will get hot, so you got to watch it. One thing though, with all the syrup in it and the brown sugar, it does kind of tame that down just a little bit, but just kind of put as many jalapenos as you like yourself, and I'm sure it'll be just fine. All right, we got all of our sausage cased up here. One tip, if you guys do the hot version as well, make sure you label it, because when you go to smoke all this here in a few days, you don't want to get this confused with some of the other ones, and then you don't know what's what. So I just put a little label on it, and then when I throw it on the smoker, I know right where it's at. Good to go. So with that being said, you guys want this to sit in the fridge for 5 days. Okay, you want, with the seasoning in the cases, just throw it in the refrigerator, let it set for 5 days. I understand if you're not able to do the full 5 days, if you got 2 or 3 days, 4 days, as long as you can, get it as close to 5 days as you can. It's going to make your sausage that much better. So we're going to let this sit, and we're going to come right back, and we're going to start working on the other 2 versions of sausages that we're making. Now I'm going to make my favorite sausage in the world right here. This is Gagne's Country Morning. It's a breakfast sausage, and I love it so much because it is so easy to make. All right, we're going to take 8 pounds of ground pork. Boom. 1/4 cup of brown sugar. 1/4 cup of our maple syrup. Just trying to pour it out of a wide mouth mason jar here. Oopsies. Yeah, it'll eat. Now we got 2 tablespoons of sage, and this looks like some hippie sage or something because there's a whole bunch of non-this, non-that, leaf ground, authentic, yada yada. Use whatever sage you want. We got 2 tablespoons here of coarse kosher salt. 2 tablespoons of black pepper. If you don't like that much black pepper in your sausage, cut back to a tablespoon and then you can always add a little bit more. Now we got just a couple pinches of ground cloves. It's probably closer to 1/8 of a teaspoon. You gotta be kind of a little bit ginger with this too here. You don't want to put a whole lot in that. And the last thing we're gonna add here is just a little bit of our Reaper powder, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of this as well. This is really, really hot. So you can add red pepper flakes, you could add jalapenos in here, you could add some kind of ground Thai, any kind of ground pepper you want would be great. This is what we make here at Gagne Farms, and we're gonna use just a touch of this. And a little goes a long way. All right, so we're gonna mix all this up really good. And what I encourage you to do, and what we do here as well, is we'll just take a little piece of this, just a little smudge, and we'll patty it up, we'll throw it in the pan, and we wanna make sure that all these flavors are what we want and what we're looking for. So we're gonna get this going, we're gonna take a little tester piece here, and if it looks good, then we're gonna continue on to the next step. Guys, I love these big mixing bowls. I know it looks like maybe a little bit of overkill for just this 8 pounds of sausage that we're making, but it sure is nice to be able to have some room to work. We use these bowls for all sorts of stuff. We take them out in the garden. We pick our garden with them. We make sausage with them. Get all our corn in them for when we can our corn. Our green beans, our venison, all sorts of stuff. All right, we got this stuff mixed up, and like I said, we're just gonna get a little smidge. That's what I call a smidge, just a little tester like that. See, looks good. So we're gonna go take this. We're gonna go throw it in the pan on the stove here quick. And one for Candace. Try these guys here. I got one for me and one for Candace. Smells great. It's actually really good. I think we hit our flavor profile excellent. Here, Candace, try some. Candace's turn.
Well, I was expecting it to be hotter with the Reaper stuff in it. But it's not that hot.
Oh, yeah.
But it's good, which is good for me. Also good aftertaste. You get a little of the heat in the aftertaste there. It's good stuff, baby.
All right. So now we're just going to package this up. I'm going to show you exactly what we're doing here right now.
No, that was a pounder, right?
Yeah.
And these are half pounders.
So we just got our breakfast sausage here into our vacuum seal bags, and we've got these weighed out at a pound, and I've actually made a few at a half a pound, just in case it's like me and Candace here, or me and one kid here or something, then we can just we don't have to do a whole pound of sausage. So we're just gonna vacuum seal these guys up and throw them in the freezer. Make sure to label these with the date too, so you guys don't know. Sometimes I forget, how long ago I made breakfast sausage, so we always make sure to put the date on this stuff. Make sure you get all that air out too. You want to get as much air out as you can. While Candace is vacuum sealing the rest of that breakfast sausage up, I'm going to get ready and we're going to start on the next sausage recipe. We're on our last step right now of this summer sausage. We've waited 6 days actually, and we're going to get this stuff smoking. So it's pretty easy. There's not a whole lot to it, but we do want to cold smoke this for a couple, 3-4 hours, and then we're going to give it a little more heat, and then we're going to smoke that with a little bit of temperature, not anything past 200 degrees. We're going to smoke that for about another 3 or 4 hours. And we'll check the internal temperature and make sure it's all done before we start pulling this off. If it gets too late, too much smoke in it, you always have the option to go inside and put it in your oven. And you can just put it in the oven for an hour at a real low heat, like a 200, 225, and just finish that temp right off. We're going to get started here, and I'm just going to use my offset. I'm going to use my offset smoker here. The reason is I don't have a proper place to smoke my sausage yet. So this is what we're using, and these sticks will fit perfectly right on the grill. And I know from past experience, I can put 10 sticks on this grill. That's 30 pounds. That's what we made. So we're going to get this going. We're just going to get our nice little fire going in here in the firebox and the sidecar. I'm going to use a little bit of charcoal to get going. Once that gets going, I'll throw a little bit of hardwood on. I'll show you guys in a few minutes. And then we will switch to our smoking chips here. And we have a different variety. I've got mesquite, hickory, apple. I think there's some pecan and some cherry in there. So we'll see. We're going to do a few different chips here today, and we will keep you guys posted as to how this is rolling all throughout the day. So like I say, this is going to be close to an 8-hour smoke here. So this is not something you want to walk away from, go to town, go catch a movie, none of that. Stick with it. And there's a few other things here I'm going to show you guys. I have a temperature probe that we use. It's remote, so I can take it inside with me if I have to go inside quick. But otherwise, you want to kind of sit here and watch this. You don't want to get away from you. You don't want it to spike temperature or get too cold. All right, let's wrap this up. There we go. All right, that's as many coals as we are starting with. I'm just kind of getting a few coals in here, a little bit of a base. That is the only reason for this. I don't typically smoke with the charcoal, so we're just using this, like I said, get a base going. And then we are going to use our chips, our smoking chips, and our hardwood to keep that coal base going. This is just kind of a cheat. While our fire gets going here, we're going to start putting our sticks of meat down. Couple things. We are going to trim our ends, and I'm actually going to use that for a marker on the hot pieces. We're just going to set those aside. These do have to get pretty tight together here. We're just going to get these laid out while that fire gets going. Just trim these guys up a touch. So these are hot sticks here. I marked them with a little sticker, and I don't want that sticker to be on while we're smoking because I don't want that to have a chance to burn or anything. So what I'm going to do is on the hot ones, I have this string that came with the packaging. I'm just going to tie a piece of burlap string to it here, and that's going to signify to me that that is a hot stick. So I can remember that. I can look back on this video. That's partially why we homesteaders do these videos, which is actually pretty cool, guys, because I do go back and rewatch my videos as long as others, and try to remember how we do things, look at recipes, all sorts of stuff. So kudos to everybody out there that makes videos like this because it really helps. I know there's many homesteaders I went back and looked at, you know, hey, how'd they do this? Or what'd they do here? Or what did they put in this recipe? And it really helps. It's a very, very good digital library to have something like that for everybody to go back and look on. That's our 10 sticks right there. So we're gonna close this guy up. All right, we're gonna let this get rolling, and then we'll be back in just a minute, and I will show you a couple other things. I want to show you guys a couple different tips and tricks here of how we do things here, just to make sure that nothing gets scorched, and we have a nice, fine, evenly smoked summer sausage. All right, that is getting going good. A couple more minutes left on our sidecar to get hot. This is a good time. I want to show you guys the Therm Pro. I've showed you in other videos before, but this is just a temperature probe, and I'm going to stick it inside the grill. This is very nice to do. I can take one of these inside with me, and I can set it to a range. So I can set that to, say, 150 to 175 degrees. And if it goes below or above that, it gives me an alert on here. I can come out and check it and see what's going on if I'm in the house or if I'm away from the grill. We're going to use this time right now. I'm going to put this probe in, and we're going to set this before. We don't want to open this up too often. We don't want to open our grill up too often. So we're just going to kind of get this guy in here. And it's got a flexible lead on it here, so you can kind of just set it in here. Now, I like to set this close to the end of the grill right here, because that's where all the heat is going to come up, is from the sidecar here up into the main grill portion underneath. And in years past, I've had a problem with this stick of sausage burning because it gets too much heat right here. So we got to keep an eye on these first two sticks. Now, if it does get too hot, we can roll these sticks a little bit, or we can take these sticks and rotate them down to this end. We keep shuffling them down and kind of going through in a circle like that. That seems to work really good for me. But we really try to keep it to a cold smoke here for the first 2 to 3, maybe even 3.5 hours on this. So I've got our probe in here, and we've got it on. I'm going to shut this lid so we can keep any smoke in there that we can. Like this little remote here, if I'm out running around the yard or something, it's got a little magnet on it. I just stick it to the outside of the barn like that. I can go out, work in the chicken coop, go out in the front yard, backyard, do whatever I'm doing. I've got Christmas lights to take down right now, so I may be spending some time out here doing that. I can hear this alarm. I can take it right over here, up by the house with me, whatever I want. But I'm still be making sure that meat doesn't get above temperature. That's what you really want to cold smoke this meat as long as you can. All right, we've got just a little bowl of water here, and I'm going to take a couple handfuls of the apple chips. We're going to get them soaking just a little bit before we go to throw these on. And I'm going to take a couple handfuls of hickory as well. So I kind of like that match when I'm doing stuff. And we're going to there's a couple pieces of hardwood. I want to get these guys on. I'm just going to start kind of getting a hardwood fire here. We're going to get that going. And then we're going to start putting a handful of chips on at a time and get some smoke rolling in this guy. We are still we're at 81 degrees right now, which is perfect. All right, we're going to add a few chips to our coals now. We're going to get this guy good, nice, cold smoke going to it. We are at 92. Perfect. That is perfect. Now set it and forget it for a few minutes. Our third sausage that we have for you today is our very own Gagne's Country Brat. Now we're going to make our country brats, and we're going to make our hot country brats. We're going to make the base for everything with the country brats first, and then at the end we're going to add some of our jalapeno to the last half of it so we can pack those casings. So very easy. We have 20 pounds of our ground pork right here, and then we use the Lem Backwoods fresh sausage seasoning. So this is the Bratwurst style. This is going to be our base ingredient, and we're going to add all this other flavorings to it as well. So what I have here, just read your package for the amount that you need for whatever poundage of ground pork that you're using. With our 20 pounds, we have 1 cup and 2/3 here of our seasoning. And then we have to add our water. I think it's an ounce per pound of meat of water. This is just cold out of the tap. There. And now I like to mix this in just like this first, and then we'll put our other ingredients in a moment. Now our other ingredients that we're going to put in here is we have about 3 cups of onions from the garden. And we're going to put that in. They were in the freezer, so they will crunch up nicely in just a moment. And then we have about 3 cups of our green peppers here. And these are from the garden too. We just froze these, chopped them up, froze them. We put these guys in. Our last item we have is our high temp cheese. This is about 1 pound of our high temp cheddar cheese. This is our base country brat right here. We're going to mix this all up and we're going to start stuffing. All right, we got this mixed up. We're going to get our casings and our stuffer. We're going to start stuffing these brats. We've got our stuffer, we got our meat, and we got our casings. These are a natural hog casing. We get these from our local meat market. But I believe Lem has a product you can get online. I've used them before. They're great as well. We prefer the natural casings here. Other people do not. Use whatever casing you'd like. But you want to make sure to rinse these as well as you can. And then just get them up on the horn. And pack your meat into your stuffer and let her rip. So you want to make sure and tie a knot at the end of your, once you get the casing on the horn, tie a little knot in her, you're good to go. Start packing your sausage and stuff away. When you first start out, you're going to have a little bit of air in the system. So you want to make sure to let that kind of bleed off slowly. Whoa. We're good. Once you get the feel for this here, it goes pretty quick, especially with this stuffer. I'll leave a little bit at the end so you can get a knot in this guy. Just kind of tie it like a balloon. Maybe. Now it's time for our hot country brats. We got about, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 pounds of our base country brat here. And then this is jalapeno from the freezer. I just bust off a little corner like that. I would say that's about 1 cup or so worth. And just kind of crinkle her up here. Like that, see it comes right apart in my hand. Just a little squeeze. And then we just give this a good mix. If you like a little bit more spice in your brat, put a little more jalapeno in. If you don't like jalapenos, you like some other type of hot pepper, put those in. Completely your preference. We got all of our nice bratwurst cased up here. I'm going to show you guys how to tie these real quick. Pretty simple. You just kind of go about a brat size here. I like to kind of do it a little pinch like this, a little pinchy pinch. And then carefully roll. And you give it about 2 or 3 rolls one direction. So if you roll one to the left, you roll the other one to the right. And just keep going down the line like this. Ta-da. You don't need to roll. Just like 2 rolls is fine. I can't remember which way I went on that one. So like that, you have your chain of brats, just like that. So what we like to do, I try to put like 2 per package, just because I'm usually the only one eating them. I usually eat 1 or 2 for a meal, and then leftovers, I like to eat those as well. So just give that guy a little trim, no big deal. 1, 2, 3, 4. At 4, I make a little cut. Just like that. Throw them in our vacuum seal bags. And then this is usually where Candace takes over and vacuum seals these up. All right, we've been cold smoking here for almost 4 hours. We're right at the 160 threshold. I've kind of kept it there the whole time. Let's take a quick peek. Oh yeah, looking good. We're gonna start giving this a little bit more heat, but before we do so, I'm gonna start taking some of these and transporting them down here a little bit. We're gonna swap these out a little bit so we don't make sure to get this one too hot, this one too cold. It's got a lot of smoke in it right now. That's great. We're doing good. We're about halfway through the process here, and we're gonna give these guys a roll too. So I'm gonna take this one. I'm going to set it down here. We're going to put it at the very end. I'm going to take 2 of these actually. And I'm going to move those down. We're going to give these guys a good roll. 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 You get the picture. Roll that guy. There is a lot of moisture in these. You will see that they're a little wet on the outside. That's okay. You gotta remember, these things are, full of meat. There's gonna be moisture in them, so they will start to dry out after a bit. We really gotta watch this stage now. We can't let it get too hot at this end. So yes, we're gonna be raising the heat, but we're also gonna be flipping these guys around a little bit more. Basically, we're gonna do this. We're gonna bring this up to temperature. I'll keep you kind of in the loop here. It's kind of a whole lot of waiting. Keep an eye on the temperature, wait, keep an eye on the temperature. And we're going to kind of do the dance here for a little bit. But everything's looking good. I think my fire got just a little bit hot with having this open. So we're going to hurry up and shut this guy. And I'm going to put some water on our fire here. Open the lid. We do not want that big of a flame going at all. There we go. That's it. We will bring you along when this is closer to done. I think we are right there. Oh yeah, we're definitely past 160. We're going to take these outside and let them cool off. We brought our sausage in and finished it off in the oven. We got it to an internal temp of 160 degrees in here. And then what I did is I pulled it out of the oven and I stuck it in our refrigerator overnight just to get it cooled down, cool that meat down. I have not tried this yet. I want to give this a taste test quick, and then we're going to package this stuff up. Let's give one of these a shot. Oh, look at that. Boy, it looks good right there, doesn't it? Let's get a little taste test piece here. I want to try some of this stuff out. Very good. Perfect smoke flavor to it. Cheese is excellent in there, not too much cheese. Very good stuff. Well, that's about it. We're just going to package these up here. Here again, we just use our vacuum sealer. Vacuum seal these guys up. We do it, I pretty much just cut these sticks into thirds. I like to give these to a lot of family and friends. I sometimes take some to work and we share. So you guys do whatever you want to with yours. This is how we do ours. Give these recipes a shot. I guarantee that you'll love them. If you want to pair up some great relish with this brat right here, check out this video right here, and I will catch you on the next one.